For more than 70 years, Area 51 has stood at the heart of America's most persistent and tantalizing conspiracy theories. Tucked away in the remote Nevada desert, this secretive military base has inspired countless rumors, stories of alien autopsies, crashed flying saucers, and mysterious technologies supposedly hidden from the public eye. The very name, Area 51, conjures images of shadowy government agents, midnight recoveries of extraterrestrial wreckage, and clandestine experiments that defy explanation. Over the decades, these tales have only grown, fueled by pop culture, science fiction, and a deep-seated curiosity about what our government might be hiding. The base's extreme secrecy, surrounded by miles of barren land and guarded by armed patrols, has only added to its mystique. For years, the US government refused to even acknowledge Area 51's existence, finally confirming it in 2013 after decades of speculation. This silence, combined with heavily redacted documents and restricted airspace, created the perfect breeding ground for wild theories and public fascination. But as new evidence comes to light, a different story begins to emerge, one that's less about extraterrestrials and more about the shadowy realities of the Cold War. Declassified files and expert testimony reveal that Area 51 was a hub for developing cutting-edge spy planes and testing advanced surveillance technology, all under a veil of absolute secrecy. The government's obsession with keeping these projects hidden was not just about national security, but also about psychological warfare. In fact, the Pentagon and intelligence agencies actively encouraged rumors of UFOs and alien encounters, by allowing the public, and more importantly America's adversaries, to believe in otherworldly explanations. They cleverly diverted attention from their most sensitive operations. UFO sightings became a smokescreen, a tool to mislead Soviet spies and keep the true nature of Area 51's work hidden in plain sight. By digging into declassified reports, interviewing former intelligence officers, and following the trail of investigative journalists, we can begin to unravel the truth behind the legend. The myth of Area 51 wasn't just a byproduct of secrecy, it was a deliberate construction, designed to protect national interests and outwit America's enemies during a time of global tension. This is the story of how a carefully crafted myth became a weapon, shaping not only our culture but also our understanding of truth and deception. Area 51's legend endures, reminding us that sometimes the most unbelievable stories are the ones we're meant to believe. During the Cold War, secrecy was everything. The world was locked in a tense standoff, with the United States and the Soviet Union constantly watching each other's every move. Behind closed doors, military strategists and intelligence officers worked tirelessly to stay one step ahead of their adversaries, knowing that even the smallest leak could tip the balance of power. The US and Soviet Union raced to outdo each other in technology and intelligence. Every new invention, every scientific breakthrough was a potential game changer. The stakes were nothing less than global dominance, and both sides poured vast resources into developing advanced weapons, surveillance systems, and secret programs. Espionage became a way of life, with spies and double agents lurking in the shadows, gathering information and spreading disinformation. Testing revolutionary aircraft like the U-2 and SR-71 at Area 51 risked exposure to Soviet spies. These planes could fly higher and faster than anything before, but their very existence was a closely guarded secret. Area 51, hidden deep in the Nevada desert, became the epicenter of these covert operations. Yet with so many eyes on the skies, it was only a matter of time before someone noticed something unusual. Instead of suppressing UFO sightings, the Pentagon embraced them, using public fascination with aliens as a smokescreen. Reports of mysterious lights and flying saucers flooded newspapers and radio broadcasts, capturing the imagination of the public. The government realized that these stories could be useful, diverting attention away from their real activities and cloaking their most sensitive projects in a haze of speculation and myth. If someone saw a strange craft, it was better they believed it was extraterrestrial than a new American weapon. Civilians and even some military personnel became unwitting participants in this grand deception, spreading rumors and sharing blurry photos that only deepened the mystery. The more outlandish the story, the less likely anyone would suspect the truth. That these sightings were often glimpses of cutting-edge technology being tested in secret. This misdirection protected secrets and sowed confusion among Soviet analysts, who wasted resources chasing alien stories instead of real threats. Soviet intelligence agencies pored over reports and intercepted communications, trying to separate fact from fiction. The flood of UFO sightings created a fog of uncertainty, making it nearly impossible for them to discern what was truly happening at places like Area 51. The myth of Area 51's aliens became a psychological weapon, hiding advanced technology in plain sight. The government's silence only fueled speculation, turning the remote base into a magnet for conspiracy theories and curiosity seekers. Over time, the legend grew, and Area 51 became synonymous with extraterrestrial secrets, even as its real purpose remained hidden. In the end, the UFO narrative was as much a tool of national defense as any stealth bomber. By encouraging the public's fascination with the unknown, the US government created a powerful shield of misdirection, one that protected its most valuable secrets and helped maintain the delicate balance of power during one of history's most dangerous eras. The F-117 Nighthawk stealth fighter, with its radical design, was tested at Area 51 in the 1980s. Its triangular shape and silent flights were bound to attract attention. To protect the program, the Air Force planted fake UFO photos in local bars, fueling alien rumors. Any real sightings of the Nighthawk would be dismissed as more UFO nonsense. This deliberate misinformation kept the F-117 secret from the Soviets until its public reveal in 1988. The local gossip wasn't just idle talk, it was part of the aircraft's security. The government used myth as a shield, proving just how far it would go to protect its technological edge. Deception wasn't just aimed at the public or foreign spies, it targeted US personnel too. Within the shadowy corridors of America's most secretive military installations, even those sworn to protect the nation, found themselves caught in a web of calculated misinformation. The culture of secrecy ran so deep that it became a test of character, loyalty, and obedience, blurring the lines between reality and fiction for those on the inside. For years, select Air Force members were briefed on a fake unit called Yankee Blue, supposedly tasked with reverse engineering alien tech. These briefings were conducted with utmost seriousness, complete with official-looking documents, technical diagrams, and even staged meetings. The story was so convincing that it became a rite of passage for those chosen to participate, making them feel as though they were part of an elite inner circle privy to the nation's most extraordinary secrets. They were shown fabricated evidence and sworn to secrecy, believing they held one of the nation's deepest secrets. The elaborate ruse included redacted files, staged technical briefings, and even mock surveillance to reinforce the illusion. Many participants took their oaths seriously, never questioning the authenticity of what they were told and carrying the weight of this supposed knowledge for years. In reality, Yankee Blue was an elaborate hazing ritual, a loyalty test with no real secret at all. The entire operation was designed to see who could be trusted to keep a secret, and who might crack under pressure or share classified information. It was a psychological experiment as much as a prank, revealing how far the military would go to ensure absolute loyalty and discretion among its ranks. Many carried this burden for years, never told the truth. Some veterans only discovered the deception decades later, feeling a mix of relief and betrayal. The emotional toll was real. Some questioned their own judgment, while others wondered what other secrets might have been fabricated or withheld from them during their service. Some believe the prank tested trustworthiness. Others think it added authenticity to UFO rumors by creating sincere believers. The existence of Yankee Blue fueled speculation both inside and outside the military, as those who believed in the program sometimes unwittingly spread rumors that lent credibility to UFO conspiracy theories. In this way, the hoax had ripple effects far beyond its original intent, shaping public perception and military folklore alike. The secrecy surrounding Yankee Blue also fostered a sense of isolation among those involved. Unable to discuss their experiences, they often felt alone with their knowledge, unsure who else might be in on the secret or whether they could ever reveal what they knew. This isolation only deepened the mystique and power of the fabricated story. The Pentagon finally ended the practice in 2023, closing a bizarre chapter of internal deception. The decision was made after years of debate about the ethical implications and psychological impact on service members. For many, it marked the end of an era defined by secrecy, suspicion, and elaborate tests of loyalty. Even inside the military, the line between truth and fiction was deliberately blurred. The story of Yankee Blue serves as a reminder that sometimes, the most elaborate secrets are the ones we create ourselves, and that the true test of loyalty may lie not in what we know, but in what we're willing to believe. The UFO narrative also hid critical vulnerabilities, like the 1967 Malmstrom Air Force Base incident. Captain Robert Salas claimed a UFO disabled 10 nuclear missiles, a story that became UFO lore. But a recent Pentagon investigation found the real cause: a failed test of electromagnetic pulse technology meant to simulate a nuclear attack. The test accidentally knocked out the missiles, exposing a dangerous weakness in America's nuclear deterrent. Rather than admit this to the Soviets, officials let the UFO story stand. The alien tale was a convenient cover for a far more alarming truth. Sometimes, the government hid its failures behind the myth of extraterrestrials. In 2022, the Department of Defense created the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, to investigate UFOs or UAPs. Led by Sean Kirkpatrick, AARO gained unprecedented access to decades of classified files, reviewing both current and Cold War-era cases. Their research revealed a clear pattern. Many famous UFO sightings coincided with secret tests of advanced U.S. technology. The evidence pointed not to aliens, but to the government's own clandestine activities. AARO found no proof of extraterrestrial technology, just a history of deliberate misdirection and internal pranks. The UFO phenomenon, it turned out, was often a byproduct of national security strategy. The real story was about secrecy, not visitors from another world. The 2024 AARO report dismantled decades of UFO mythology. Most sightings were misidentified secret projects or ordinary objects, not alien craft. The report confirmed the Air Force's use of fake UFO photos and the Yankee Blue hazing ritual. Incidents like Malmstrom were re-explained as failed military tests, not alien interventions. The Pentagon admitted to fueling UFO conspiracy theories as Cold War statecraft, but at the cost of public trust. The truth was never about aliens, it was about protecting advanced, sometimes flawed, technology. Even with AARO's revelations, the full story remains out of reach. The public report was redacted, with key details withheld for national security. This secrecy only fuels suspicion and keeps conspiracy theories alive. The government argues that revealing all would compromise current methods and technologies. Some secrets, especially those tied to ongoing programs, may never be fully disclosed. The legacy is a deep public distrust. If the government lied before, why believe them now? The mystery of Area 51 endures, sustained by the very secrecy meant to protect it. The Pentagon's UFO cover-up is a Cold War story of myth used as a weapon. The real secret was not aliens, but psychological warfare and technological innovation. The alien narrative protected programs like the F-117 and hid vulnerabilities like Malmstrom's. But this strategy bred decades of distrust and conspiracy. The AARO investigation is a step toward transparency, but the full truth may never emerge. The myth of Area 51 reminds us, sometimes the wildest stories are crafted to hide secrets much closer to home. The quest for truth continues in the shadow of a legend built on deception.